नमस्कार सब एकदम बढ़िया क्या हुआ विमल जी, कोविड तो फेस किया क्या?
सर ये तो स्ट्रांग लोगों के हाथ में है ना, स्ट्रांग लोग ही तो फेस करेंगे। हाय नाबिया, हाउ आर यू?
सर हाउ आर यू सर? विमल सर
वेरी फाइन। आप लोग कैसे हैं?
ऑल वेल सर।
करण, हाउ आर यू?
I'm good, sir. How are you doing?
Very fine.
Good
So
to
maybe we will start within a minute or two. Just wait.
Yeah.
Taran, are we doing that YouTube streamlining? Taran, are you there?
Can you unmute yourself?
We are doing it. It's live streaming on YouTube as well.
Okay, live streaming on YouTube as well. Okay, yeah. All right. So maybe Monica, you can start with, because today we are having very short duration, 1 hour 30 minutes. So maybe all three speakers can speak all the changes, relevant changes. So Monica,
yes,
officially you can start.
Fine, sir. So on behalf of PHT Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I welcome you all to the webinar on the indirect tax relief measures of COVID pandemic. We welcome all our esteemed speakers for being with us here today. I also welcome all the delegates for joining us today. The session is being live streamed on YouTube as well. So we welcome all our viewers who are viewing this event on the YouTube. So now, without taking much of your time, I'll request Mr. Bimal Jain. He's the chairman of the Indirect Taxes Committee to present the theme for the today's webinar. Mr. Bimal Jain is the chairman of the committee with more than 21 years of experience in indirect taxation and specializes in all aspects of goods and services tax, service tax, value-added tax, central sales tax, export-oriented units, customs, foreign trade policy, among others. So over to you, sir. Bimal sir.
At the outset, let me thank today's speaker, Sri N.K. Gupta ji, C.A. Nabya Malhotra ji, Mr. Karan Sachdev also. Today we got very short 2:30 to 4 o'clock, 1 hour 30 minute webinar on COVID-19 related relief measure. Water is being announced by the government under GST, under custom, and we are going to discuss one of the Supreme Court recent judgment on period of limitation, whether that judgment is applicable for GST provision. But nevertheless, at the first outset, my request and submission to all the participants would be, we are passing through second wave of COVID-19, deadly one. It is impacting directly, indirectly, everyone's house. My request to all of you would be, please do take care. Take all precaution, whatever is required to be. And I am of the opinion that Jaan hai to Jahan hai. Believe me, take your bestest precaution, whatever you can take at this point of time. I've seen number of news visits coming on daily basis. It's not giving a good moral boost up, little creating negativity in the mindset, but nevertheless, we all have to be together to fight out this situation as well. And there's one theme, jab tak jindagi hai, tab tak sambhavnaएं hain. We must try out to doing something good. We must pass on wellness messages to each other, happiness messages to each other, help each other to build and to pass this crucial time period. I know that this COVID-19 is creating a lot of hassles. Offices are closed. There may be a question of livelihood also, no denial to it. But this time will pass through. ये समय भी निकल जाएगा. Like दिन के बाद रात को आना है, रात के बाद दिन को आना है. And nothing is going to be static. Maybe this bad phase of our life, everyone's life, will pass through. We will get God grace. भगवान हम सबके ऊपर अपना आशीर्वाद देंगे और फिर से हम एक बार नॉर्मल लाइफ के अंदर इन करेंगे. और हम सब चाहते हैं, हमें क्या करना चाहिए? एटलीस्ट हम अपनी तरफ से जितना सपोर्ट, तन मन धन जो हम कर सकते हैं, this is the time we have to come forward. This is the time we have to pass on masses to our close relatives, friends, well-wisher. दिन में एक बार बात कीजिए, एक अच्छा मैसेज भेजिए. Give them a positivity. Maybe this is the responsibility we need to carry on, helping each other. I know today's webinar on COVID-19 relief measure. I'm going to touch base only 2 or 3 points, not much. I'm not going to make theme presentation. I will hand over technical session. All 3 speakers will speak about. But 2-3 things importantly. The first one, COVID-19 related month, March and April, certain announcement is being made pertaining to filing of GSTR 3B, relaxation in the interest, late fees. But question is it really enough to cover up the situation, to cover the period which we are talking about? In my personal opinion, believe me, it is not really up to the expectation. Nevertheless, when I look at custom-related benefit given on COVID-19 medicines, oxygen concentrator, I would like to discuss 2 components with all of you, and all the participants will agree with me that this time government looks like reactive rather than proactive. See, when oxygen concentrator I'm importing as a gift for personal use, first of all, it was restrictive category. It moved out from restrictive to free. Just think on the last 30th April, we are moving out from restrictive to the free. And then the question was GST rate applicable. It was 28% on oxygen concentrator for personal use, as against 12%. Then this was next representation we submitted to the government, said 28% GST rate, how it is going to be helping Aam Aadmi. Nevertheless, rate was made par, either for business purpose or non-business purpose, 12% IGST. But still 12% looks like on a higher side. There was one press reporter coming back to me, not only press reporter, it started from one of the state started demanding, why can't we reduce GST rate on COVID-19 medicine injections? Why can't we reduce the GST rate from 12% to 5% or 5% to 0.1%? One of the argument given by Honorable Finance Minister that exemption, complete exemption cannot be provided. It will distort input tax credit in supply chain. But try to understand. ITC chain works when you import raw material for FG purpose. If FG imported and traded as such, where is the question of ITC which we are referring to? And maybe for the short-term measure, when we are all fighting against COVID-19, some relief could have been announced. Alternatively, even though if 5% GST rate reduced to 0.1%, possible. And that is how you can manage, like we got inverted duty structure, right? And refund is being allowed under inverted duty structure. There are alternative mechanisms available. And these months we are seeing pan-India, lot of scarcity pertaining to medicine, injections, and COVID-19 related stuff is not available, beds are not available, oxygen cylinders is not available. And we are talking about GST and then talking about it will create negative impact on ITC. In my personal humble opinion, this is the time we should look at the benefit to the mass humankind. We all need material. We all need relief material. We all need medicine. We all need oxygen, and that too at a cheaper cost. There are so many who can't afford. What is the role of indirect tax? From custom duty perspective, lot many announcement is being made. But look at the timing it is being made. Why it has happened only at the last few days? Why it was not there in the first week of April or middle of March? Something looks like we are in a reactive mode. And this is not giving good signal because this is a national crisis for all of us together. Nevertheless, in today's 1.5 hour, 3 speakers are going to discuss about the COVID-19 related relief measure in GST and custom. But my humble submission to all of you would be, this is the time we must also stand up and raise our support to all needy families. Jitna ho sakta hai. I'm saying that you need not give your 100%, but to the extent possible, pass on whatever best possible. See, criticizing is one of the ways we can look at from the life perspective, but criticizing is not the right way. Whatever I can do, that should be the way forward. Whatever I can support, that should be the way forward. Whatever I can contribute, that should be the way forward. Let's try. And even we can go back to government. So in today's webinar, if you feel like something which we can represent from Indirect Tax Committee, PSG, we would be delighted to summarize those representation and submit to the government for getting necessary relief. So I'm handing over this session for all 3 speakers. Mr. Nabia going to make presentation on GST related changes. Sri Gupta ji going to make presentation on custom related. And I got a dynamic young chap Karan today. He's going to discuss Supreme Court judgment on period of limitation. So listen to them, and whatever your point, you can always write back in a chat box. And let's take it forward. Anything which you feel like we can represent to the government, maybe central, maybe state, from GST and custom perspective, you must write down to us and we will compile those suggestions and submit to the concerned authority. Before summing up, once again, let's be united together. Pass on wellness messages, positive messages, help each other. सुबह सुबह एक दूसरे को स्माइल भेजें, अच्छी अच्छी बातें कहें, wellness messages दें, pass on good messages and pray to God. भगवान हमें इस COVID-19 से बाहर निकालिए. With this, let me thank each one of you for being part of today's webinar. Handing over to Monica to take the proceedings further. Monica, to you.
Thank you very much, sir. And I'm sure we all will cooperate with each other for the benefit of the members, for the benefit of each other's family, and to whatever extent possible, we'll lend a helping hand. I can see our president, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, who has joined us for the webinar. So,
Okay.
sir, I'll just request you to kindly make a brief observations about about the topic.
Sanjay ji, namaskar. Our president, PhD Chamber of Commerce. So he had joined today. He was highly occupied today, but still he's taking out his time and present here for the welcome address. Thanking you, sir, for joining today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Bimalji. I can also see N.K. Gupta ji, our senior MC member also. And of course, there are lots of dignitaries present here. Ms. Monica is, of course, conducting the whole show. Let me just begin with saying that I was very happy to hear the strength of your voice and the positivity of your message, Bimalji. You have battled through some illness in your family and you yourself were not too well just 3-4 days back. And now today you are back in full strength. I am very happy to see that. And I hope that everybody in your family is safe and healthy by now. And I really hope that everybody who's attending this program and all of us, we remain safe and healthy. These are not easy times, but in these difficult times, I think our mettle is to be tested and we have to show more and more strength of character and strength of positivity, as Bimalji was saying, that let us look at the positive things in life, let us be as positive as possible. और नेगेटिविटी तो हम लोग हमेशा से ढूंढते ही आ रहे हैं, सदियों से ढूंढते आ रहे हैं. दैट इज द स्पेशलिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन रेस दैट we as a species we have emotions. बाकी एनिमल्स तो सिर्फ प्रेजेंट देखते हैं, हम पास्ट देखते हैं और उससे ज्यादा फ्यूचर देख के अपनी तबीयत को परेशान करते हैं. सो इसलिए पॉजिटिविटी भी एक हमारी ही स्ट्रेंथ है, जो ह्यूमन बीइंग्स की स्ट्रेंथ है, उसको हमें फुली यूटिलाइज करना चाहिए. तो आई टोटली एग्री. और लग रहा है कि देखिए अब पूरे देश में कुछ ना कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट धीरे धीरे we are seeing some improvement in numbers. Hopefully everything should be fine. But end of the day, I think our strength is what is going to count. Our positivity is going to count. और ये जो आज का सब्जेक्ट है, the indirect tax relief measures in view of public, I think this is a very topical subject. I did not want to miss it. हम लोग का एक MOU signing था with Mongolian Chamber of Commerce. वो थोड़ा सा extend भी हो गया, but I thought I should still not miss this event because this is very, very crucial right now as a nation. The difficulties that we are facing in battling with COVID, I think what we need is a very responsive government, which should be able to react to the needs of the hour as we battle the individual issues that are coming up. Just 3-4 days back, I came to know Bimalji is not well because I called him to take his advice on again some COVID relief material that was being imported and what was the status of duties on that. That is what we were trying to do, and we have sent a representation, of course. So you see, in this time of pandemic, it's very important that we have this discussion in which such eminent experts are able to share their views, and whatever are the conclusions, we are able to share the views among the attendees so that they have a better understanding of the provisions as they exist and what the chambers may try to do. And secondly, we could have some very positive suggestions as to what the chamber should represent to the government and to take up in this matter. And we don't have the luxury of long timelines. So whatever happens, I would request Bimalji to please compile the recommendations and suggestions ASAP so that we can then send our representations and maybe follow up very strongly with the government also. So I really hope that today's webinar gives us some really positive and useful inputs. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you very much, sir. So now moving ahead, we'll move on to our first session of today, and I'll request Mr. Navya Malhotra to make a presentation on the important changes in GST as COVID-19 measures. Mr. Navya Malhotra is a partner at VK Dhingra and Company. He holds a knowledge base of Indian Accounting Standards Advisory along with IFRS Consulting. He's a faculty in the NIRC of the ICAI and an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India with a diploma in Information Systems Audit. So over to Mr. Malhotra.
A very, very good afternoon to all of you, to all the dignitaries present, to Sanjay Agarwal ji for giving me an opportunity, Bimal Jain sir, and praying for your good health, Jain sir, to the other speakers, Gupta ji, Karan ji, and to the all moderators. It is indeed the time of tough pandemic that we all are surviving. And when I talk about a situation where we are dealing with this kind of tough as well as I will say a rough phase, we need to understand. सर वीडियो अवेलेबल नहीं है क्या? चैट में मैसेज आ रहा है।
आपका वीडियो ऑन नहीं है नाप्या?
अब ठीक है सर?
Now it's coming. Yes, correct.
Yes. So in this tough time of pandemic as well as rough time of pandemic, government has given certain kind of relaxations as well as relief. But I say, as Vimal Jain sir said, it is not a proactive analysis rather than a reactive analysis that the government has made. And certainly when I talk about relaxations, the relaxations were only regarding the two months, that is March 2020-21 and April 2020-21. We haven't gone beyond that period because government is of a view that after the return period of tax periods of March and April, certainly things will go on the track, which will amount to all the normalcy phase. But in our view, that we all and GST consultants, advisors all across the nations are totally of the view that the relaxations are for a very less duration, and they are a very, I'll say, a smaller relief that is given to the marginal relief given to the taxpayers and the assessees. I will be concerned about regarding the only GST related matters. So let me start my presentation, and side by side, if you feel like noting that important points, we will discuss that important points as well. So I believe the total screen is now visible to all the members present. We have to divide our discussion into three phases. One is the phase where they have concerns started on the 30th March, which is just a non-compliance of B2C QR code that they have extended. I will say this is not related to COVID also, but this was the relief they had to give because of a B2C QR code not having the proper infrastructure in right now place. So they had to extend this to another phase that I will discuss in the later slides. The next is the important COVID related measure. This is a temporary relief that the corporates, the companies can make the filing through EVC also of their GSTR 1 and 3B, not using the DSC. They can do it through the verification code, the OTP that we receive for filing of the returns like GSTR 1 and 3B. And there contains a bunch of notifications that came on the 1st of May this year regarding the COVID relief for having tax period March and April 2021. These contains a bunch of notifications having relaxations, reliefs, and deferments of the due dates in certain circumstances that I will discuss in detail in the later slides to come. Next, the B2C QR code, it is now extended till 30th of June. That is, it will be applicable from the 1st of July. This is, I will say, totally a relief that needs to be again extended. Might be the industry is not in a position, as Jan Saab said, that are there any kind of suggestions that needed to be in place in this tough times? One of the suggestion I would believe would be covering this QR code infrastructural implementation. Next, the EVC that I'm talking about. It came in notification number 7/2020-21, which talks about that for the duration of 27th April to 31st May, if you are filing any of your GSTR 1 or 3B, the corporates have an option now to file it option with EVC as well. They can use electronic verification code, the OTP that they receive on the authorized number they have given on the GST portal for the filing purposes. We have to understand that this has a very positive impact when we are doing the filing, because digital signatures have proper infrastructure, Java utilities, EM signer, everything that takes a cumbersome complex process that have been relaxed by this notification. Coming to the next important notifications that came, I will start with the notification number 8 and 2021 and 9 2021. These both notifications came on the 1st of May 2021 and having a retrospective effect. We have to note that the both notifications have a retrospective effect. Now, let us understand the complexity of this notification as well. These notifications said that you are getting a relaxation, a relief measure benefit for your interest and your late fee. Interest and your late fee. The notification was divided into 3 segments. The 3 segments were: one is having turnover greater than 5 crores. The other was turnover less than 5 crores, and the QRMP scheme holders. The 3 segments were given the proper benefits in this notification. However, we again need to understand that these benefits or relaxations were having a very short marginal duration relaxation, either of 15 days or of 30 days, wherever applicable. Only the government has given a relaxation of 15 or 30 days wherever applicable. I will discuss. For a person having turnover in the preceding financial year more than 5 crore. Now understand the complexity. The complexity here is that we are getting a benefit of March 2021 and April 2021. When I talk about 2 tax periods here, March 21 and April 21, the only complexity here comes is the preceding financial year. Sir, preceding financial year for this year would be 1920, and for this year it would be 2021. It will have 2 different financial years into the consideration for getting the calculation of late fee or interest, or even judging the relaxation measure given to you. You have to check with 2 different financial years for March or April. In my humble opinion and view, giving the relaxation of March, where the due date was itself 20th April, and the assessee, the taxpayer, might have filed the return as well, giving the benefit on 1st of May with a retrospective date of 18th April or 20th April, can sound as no benefit given to them. There might be a tax compliant assessee, and in the hustle and bustle, they must have filed the return on 20th of the due date only. It is giving like a relaxation from the retrospective and effect. However, as Jain Saab also said, it is a reactive analysis rather than a proactive analysis, because getting into the understanding of that the situation, the need of the hour is giving the relaxation. They gave the relaxation, came up with the notifications on 1st of May, which was a much later time that have passed the due date of 20th April. So there might sound a situation where the assessee feels that he has given no relaxation. In my humble view, this can also be an area of suggestion, as the chambers were deciding right now, that are there any scope of suggestion to the government? This can be the scope of suggestion, that March 21, either it should be allowed some kind of rectification, because it is kind of giving benefit and not giving the benefit is equal in this situation, because the due date already passed by. The relaxation here, let us understand, for March and April, people having turnover
Navya, I think we have lost your audio.
Yeah, lost your audio. Mr. Navya?
Taran, speak to Nabia over phone. Taran,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
speak to Nabia.
Is the audible? As I'm audible now? I disconnected and
Navya.
connected again. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir, audible.
Navya, now audible. So what you can do, you can go to last of, your
Yes.
last slide, and
Yes.
from there you can start with.
Yes.
We lost you in between them.
Yes. Okay. So I was discussing a point where I'm saying that we have a benefit of only 15 days of benefit given to an assessee having turnover more than 5 crores. A person having turnover more than 5 crores is given a benefit of 15 days from the actual due date. When I say the actual due date was 20th April. 20th April due date, given a benefit of late fee up to 15 days, that is coming to 5th of May. When I say 5th of May, till 5th of May, you will be getting a no late fee. You will get a no late fee signal here. The benefit is of no late fee here. When I talk about no late fee here, if let us understand with a practical example, I have taken 3 cases. Let us say the person filed the return before due date, that is 20th April से पहले उसने 5 दिन फाइल कर दी 15th of April को. 15th of April को अगर उसने रिटर्न फाइल कर दी, he will have no late fee because it is a case of having no delay in the filing. It is actually before the filing due date he has filed the return. Let us say if he makes the filing on 26th April, he was having a due date of 20th April, 15 days relaxation margin given by the government. He makes it filing on 26th of April, 6 days delay. I'm telling 15 days government has given the benefit. There will be no late fee. Let us understand he makes a filing delay by 21 days. He makes the filing on 26th of May. He was getting the benefit of late fee till 5th of May. Makes the filing on 26th of May. When he makes the filing of 26th May, he has a delay of 21 days, late fee of 50 rupees per day. It will be 1050 rupees. So ideally for a person having turnover more than 5 crore, the benefit is enlarged to maximum of 15 days. But for the interest, we have to understand they have given the benefit of again 15 days only. Now the benefit of person having turnover more than 5 crore, it is interest of reduced rate of 9% only. Sir, understand one aspect here. A person having turnover more than 5 crores have a benefit of reduced rate of 9% if he makes a delayed filing up to 15 days. Understand with an example. The due date again was 20th April for the tax period I am discussing, March 2021. Let us say he makes the filing on 26th of May. Sir, for the 15 days, first 15 days, he has the reduced rate of interest of 9%. यानी कि उसका 36 days का डिले जो हुआ, उसमें से 15 days अगर हम हटाएंगे, बैलेंस डेज के लिए उसका 18% rate of interest लग जाएगा. Now the technical point I want to discuss here is, let us understand one technical point. One, that we have different financial years that we need to keep in consideration for March and April 21. Another is that GSTR 3B, when I talk about late fee, sir, the notification talks about relaxation. The relaxation given of 15 days to a person having turnover more than 5 crore. We need a clarity, Jan Saab, in this case also, that whether this 15 days, let us say a person files after 15 days, will the late fee get applicable from the original due date or from the margin dates? Now he is filing delayed. Let us say the person files after 17th day, will the late fee be applicable for 2 days or for the whole 17 days? Because I believe it is a relaxation given for 15 days. Notification is not yet clear in this regard as well. Coming back, when I discussed about more than 5 crores, below 5 crores or up to 5 crores, if you are making a monthly filing, that is, you are not under QRMP. If you are not under QRMP, you need to make a point here. you are given a benefit of not 15 days, but a benefit of 30 days. यहां पर आपको बेनिफिट 15 से बढ़ाकर 15 + 15 30 days का दिया गया है. In case of late fee, you are given the blunt benefit of 30 days, but in case of interest, you are given a benefit of 15 + 15 days. That is, if your original due date falls on, let's say, 20th April, you are given the benefit of no late fee up to 30 days. That is, in our case of March, it shall be 20th May, and in case of April, it shall be 19th of June. So let us clearly यहाँ पे एक चीज हमें समझनी है और कि इंटरेस्ट का और लेट फी का implications क्या है. For interest and late fee implications, we need to put an example. Again, I have kept an example for March and April both, but let me discuss it with March for you. Let us have a due date of 20th April and he makes the filing on 26th of May. The person is who? He is having turnover less than 5 crores and he is making a monthly filing of GSTR 3B. That is, he is not a QRMP person. In my case, understand, he has made a 30 days benefit of late fee. So his late fee, having no late fee, will be up to the date of 20th May. Delay of 6 days, attract late fee of 300 rupees. So here the difference is that he has got an enlarged benefit of 15 + 15 days. Coming to the interest have no interest for the first 15 days. Another 15 days, he will be having for 9% reduced rate. Balance 6 days, he would be having the rate of interest at the 18%. This thing goes for the April as well. Coming to the another relaxations. Let us understand the relaxations for QRMP. Now the person who is under QRMP, quarterly return monthly payment scheme, opted. Here the assessee have two state categories. One is the state 1, but another is the state 2 category. The notification itself has certain flaws which I have kept in the presentation that can also be marked for the suggestion to the government to idly raise a corrigendum for these notifications. These notifications have certain slight technical wording errors that needs to be given in the corrigendum, but having no technical other aspects, let us not discuss that. So opting a person QRMP, he has a due date of 22nd of April for the March month. Let us understand this again with an example. Let us understand the person has 22nd April 2021 for the person having QRMP for January to 2021. Here again, I'm highlighting one fact that it is the benefit given to the January to the March quarter, not beyond that. For the monthly person, I was discussing for the March and April month, but for the QRMP person, the benefit is given to the January to March quarter only. Here, note the point that it have a due date of 22nd of April. Let's say, again, they have a benefit of 30 days. So let's say from 22nd of April to 22nd of May, they do not have any late fee. Here also the benefit of 30 days and the reduced rate is again 15 + 15 plus again the balance. For the first 15 days, you have 0% interest. For the another 15 days, you have 9% interest. And for the balance period, you have 18% as interest. So again, the benefit is similar to like of a person having turnover below 5 crore making the monthly filings. Beyond that, the notification also has the extension of CMP 08, that is for the composition levy. Again, it is only for the quarter March 2021, not beyond that. The March 2021 quarter has been given a benefit of again 15 days for the composition person. His due date was originally on 18th of April. Again, you have to understand the notifications have a retrospective impact. So they have due date of 18th of April. Any tax person composition levy must have even held his return pending. He has an extended benefit of 15 days. The due date has already passed since we are on 13th of May. For the nil rate of interest and for the balance, it has been 9%. So again, 15 plus 15 interest rate benefit have been given. Here, your due date late fee has not been given any benefit, or your due date has not been given any relaxation in this regard. Let us understand why the government only give the relaxation to due date and not to the extension of due date. The extension of due date, if any, would give the interest impact. So government never extend the due date, they give relaxations to the due date delay file. Coming next, we have another notifications, notification number 10 and 11 into the picture. When I talk about notification number 10, all the notifications came on the 1st of May only. It talks about GSTR 4. GSTR 4 for the full financial year 2021. The due date was 30th April. It has been, sir, it has an extended due date. यहाँ पर कोई interest implications नहीं होते, so government has extended the due date. जहां पर interest implications आते हैं, they give relaxation. However, if interest implications are not there, they can extend the due date because it will not hit the interest provisions. They have extended it by another month of May. So you are now, the due date for GSTR 4 is again 31st May 2021. Again, this notification is effective from one day before, that is 30th April 2021, after the launch of notification on the 1st of May. Coming to the next notification, that is talking about the job worker declarations, ITC 04, the quarter given benefit Jan to March, not beyond that. It is having a due date originally at 25th of April, extended to 31st of May 2021. So what I have to analyze here, only where monthly filers were there, they are given the benefit of March and April. Where there are no monthly filers, the quarters are there, they are only giving the benefit of January to March quarter. But to my extent and my understanding, the another quarter that we are in the right now will also be having an impact, and government should consider extending that. Coming to the next notification for the GSTR 1, that is notification number 12/2021. They have extended the April 21. See, you have IFF also, but I'm talking about GSTR 1 for now. GSTR 1 for the April 2021, having original date of 11th of May, extended to 26th of May 2021. Now we come up with a question in our mind. If the due date of GSTR 1 extended, nobody will be filing GSTR 1 in time before this 26th of May. How will GSTR 2 be? The credit taking analysis or Rule 36(4) will be impacted. So the another notification came up 13/2021. It took out the case was our consideration, that is for Rule 36(4). So April and March, they have given a benefit of 36(4). They have made a compiled application of Rule 36(4), where I can say for Rule 36(4), you have to compile it together and then check it. Last year, we had this compilation cumulative effect till September. This year, we have it only for these 2 months. So IFF and GSTR 1 now have a 2-day impact here also. पहले क्या होता था? 11th and 13th, extending it by 15 days. They have given it in effect of 26th and 28th. So now GSTR 1 for the April and IFF for the April can be filed up to maximum relaxation of 15 days. Coming to the effect of other last notification, that is notification number 14. The notification number 14, which came into the picture on 1st of May, have an impact of 15th of April. I believe the another speakers have to discuss the Supreme Court recent directives giving the effect of extended period, that I will not go into that phase. I will discuss this notification, but that is very much related to that Supreme Court directives that is applicable from the 7th of April this year, I believe. It says this notification, the time limit for completion or compilation of any action by any authority or by any person, that is the department or the taxpayers, falling between 15th of April to the 30th of May, have an extended due date till 31st of May. यानी कि जो भी आपने कोई refund का period या आपने कोई अपील करनी है, anything for the completion or compliance of any actions having impact between this tax period 15th of April till 30th of May have an extension till 31st of May. We have to understand that these have certain exceptions. These exceptions are for chapter 4, that is nowhere this extension is applied for time of supply or valuation of supply provisions. This is not applicable for the ineligibilities of 10.3 section, that is if you are from composition, now you are moving to the regular due to the turnover getting deferred, you have to apply for the procedures as and when your ineligibility is created, for the procedures of registrations, for the provisions of casual taxable persons, raising the tax invoice, interest provisions, or any provisions of late fee, arrest, or any liability detentions, all have an impact if this is falling within the period of 15th April to 30th May. You have to do the compliance as and when applicable. You cannot make it to a deferred aspect. This again shall not be applied to the returns of 39. That is, your 39 return of 3B is falling the effect, but except section 39, except GSTR 4, 5, 6, and 7. This 7 is for TDS, 6 is for ISD, and 5 is for the NRTP. E-way bill provisions as far as section 66, 68 are concerned are also not covered here. We have to clearly understand one thing here, that there is no extensions or relaxations. This is one point of suggestion that also Jain Sahab I would like to raise here, that there is no benefit given for the ISD returns, TDS returns, or TCS returns. This also needs to be given a relaxation as far as the normal taxpayers are concerned. Many of are having the impact in these 3 returns as well. You have to understand that only GSTR1 is given the benefit of April, not March. Can we say that we can have it for May or June also? That is, we are expecting from the government. Another aspect that we need to understand, that GSTR 3B, the due date is not extended. However, relaxations are only given to you. Only relaxations are given so that interest implications are there, and there is no implication of late fee as such. Only blanket exemptions for late fees are given to you. Sir, since I was allotted this span of time, I tried to go through you all the positions and difficulties of this era. I now hand over the floor to the moderators.
So thank you, Mr. Navya. Thanks for your comprehensive presentation. So moving ahead now, I'll request Mr. N.K. Gupta to make a presentation on the important changes in customs as COVID-19 measures. Mr. N.K. Gupta is a Senior Executive Director at S.S. Kothari Mehta and Company. He has more than 40 years of experience in advising clients in the areas of customs, excise, VAT, CST, service tax, foreign trade. He is extensively involved in advising multinational and domestic companies across a range of sectors such as aviation, agriculture, litigation, infrastructure, power, FMCG. So over to you, sir. Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you very much. I would just like to share my presentation first, and then I will proceed. Can you see my file?
No, sir, it's not.
No, Gupta ji. No, it's not coming.
Charanjit, can you load the file, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Vimalji, giving me this opportunity, first of all. And our leadership, Shri Sanjay Agarwalji, and co-speaker, Mr. Navya Batlu Malhotra, very nice presentation, very detailed analysis, in fact. And Mr. Karan from LKS. This is a very unfortunate part in the century that this is happening, COVID-19, which has disturbed all, and very bad situation. In fact, everybody is not having such kind of experience to handle situation of this kind of level. And we can only pray that God keeps everybody's health sound, and we get the relief from this COVID-19. And one suggestion I would like to make, that this will be a great contribution to the to the country, that if we can save ourselves from the COVID-19, that will, I think, that will be a great service to the nation, because number of cases reduces, that definitely improves the conditions. Now, my subject is today the customs benefit, customs reliefs given for the COVID-19. And I've also included some foreign trade policy reliefs given, some few points given on the foreign trade policies, because we are facing this. So we are getting a lot of relief from the foreign countries. So reliefs are given this. And one very overview is that in wake of the extraordinary situation owing to the COVID pandemic, which is first, we are saying first time in our life. One is that the Custom Department is working 24/7 to add with the seamless clearance of material required for COVID treatment. I agree with there are certain issues, always issues are there. India is a huge country. Moving the things, it takes times. But yes, definitely what we can see, what we were saying last 2 weeks before, that it was total chaos, that we are not getting oxygen, we were not getting bad and all this. And yes, with the proactive action taken by government, taken by people, taken by state governments, then yes, the situation, what we see today, what we are saying 10 days before is quite different. So we are going in the positive direction. We can say, yes, all the positivity is there and the positive steps have been taken for this. So Custom Department is working 24/7 for clearance of all these COVID materials. The Government of India is working in improving the procedures under the customs as well as other areas, and declaring number of relief measures, exemption and other relief. First of this declaration is, instruction is, to make it effective, it has been decided that the COVID related imports by the Ministry of External Affairs and or imported by Indian Red Cross Society, permissions, licenses, authorizations. You require many permission, many require licenses from different departments, and that has been totally waived. But we mean to say that we did not to go to a different department for getting the clearances for the imports of this. So this instruction have been issued by instruction number 8/2021, custom 27 April 2021. I agree with this. This is a, yes, the relief measures have been started late, but late is better than never. So hope that country will be all the situation will come under control. Tarnish, next slide, please. Now, another very important part is that the Government of India is leading the fight against the COVID-19. What we have seen this pandemic in the collaboration with the states and UT government. That is, this is the theme given that the whole of government is not the one government, that state government, UT government or central government, all are one. What I will say that we are going beyond this. It is not a whole of the government, but the whole of the people of India which are fighting for this and coming forward. Lot of NGOs, lot of individuals, they are coming forward. Lot of corporate houses, they are coming forward to give all kind of relief, what is possible for them. And I'll say not of the whole of government, but the whole of India, including all peoples, are for this cause at this moment. The global community, what you are seeing, this global community has extended helping hand in supporting exports of Government of India in this collective fight against the global 19, and medical equipment, medicines, oxygen, concentrator, ventilators are being provided by many countries. And in this directions, there are notification issued or notification number 27 by 2021 and 28 by 2021. In view of the COVID situation, the central government has issued notification exempting basic custom duty or health cess on import of COVID-19 related relief material for a limited period. I'll come to that, what is the limited period, and also the central government by its ad hoc exemption order number 4 by 2021 dated 3rd May 2021 has granted exemption from the IGST. So these are very important exemption for the time being. Yes, why to load the cost and all this? So very important exemption from the customs, basic custom duty, health cess wherever applicable, and IGST. Taranjit, next please. Now I'm coming to this very important notification. It is very interesting that today I have received this notification. This is in fact not a notification, but the resolution. Now from the IGST, the exemption has not been given to other than government. If the government is importing this, then only the exemption has been given. Otherwise, there is no exemption from the IGST. But today I noticed that the Gujarat government, the government of Gujarat, has passed a resolution, and in that resolution they have passed that if the individuals, corporate houses, NGOs are importing the COVID relief material and giving to the hospitals run by the government and all this, then the IGST will be refunded to the donor. It means that central government has not given the relief, but now I am seeing that what we were asking for, the state government has said that they will refund the IGST. Only at this moment, only the Gujarat government has given this relief by this order that they will give the relief, they will refund the IGST amount paid. Or there are two pieces will I come to visit in the next slide. So Taranjit, please, next slide. So they have made two options for this. One, that they will refund the IGST amount. And the second is that they can make the upfront payment of IGST amount. The state government can make upfront payment also when your import is there. And definitely there are conditions to this, that this donated free of cost. The person who is importing the goods, whether the individual, state government, central government, or state government, whosoever is importing this, then it will be given free of cost to the government of hospitals run by the state government, hospitals run by the local authorities, and there are certain conditions. And this exemption, this is available up to 31st July 2020-21. If you import after 31st July 2021, as on date, this relief is not there. After that, it will not be there. I hope that what is the situation going on, and what we'll see in future that what is the situation of the COVID-19 in coming period, then maybe this exemption may be extended. Yeah, Taranjit. Taranjit, please, yeah. Now, there are three exemptions given, that is basic custom duty and the health cess and IGST. Now, unconditional exemption of basic custom duty granted on import of 290 material, and these are few materials. And then there are certain procedures laid down under the customs import of goods of concession duty rules that is to be followed. If we are taking this exemption, then those procedures to be followed. An exemption will be available in all cases, whether imported after purchase or import of donated items. So this is the notification number 27 by 2021, and this has been, and notification number 28 by 2021. Health cess is also exempted. Health cess has also been exempted from similarly to the to BCD by notification number 28 by 21, 28/21. And now the IGST. IGST exemption is available to the state government or any entity, relief agency or statutory body authorized by the state government for import of donated items when distributed on free of cost basis in India for COVID relief and subject to the procedure notified. So this is the ad hoc exemption which has been given with respect to the IGST. But as I mentioned to you, the state government can, it means what we have seen that state government Gujarat has given, the other state government may also give the relief as far as IGST is concerned for the people who are individual or NGOs, etc. And this order number exemption, order number is 4/2021. Next, Ranjit, please. Now, there is a time limit for this, that up to what time the exemption has been given. This PPD, we are showing that up to what time this exemption is available. The notification 27/21, where the BCD exemption on import of medicine, etc., a very important medicine, remdesivir, which was, everybody was facing the challenge for this. The exemption is up to 31st October 2021. And notification number 28/2021, custom duty, BCD and health sales exemption on import of medical grade oxygen. We know the oxygen what is required for the COVID-19 treatment. This exemption is available till 31st July 2021. Now this exemption is there till 21 and July 31st. Similarly, the Gujarat government has also given the exemption only up to 31st July 2021. And this ad hoc exemption order by 4th July, IGST exemption on import of goods mentioned in notification number 27. What are the notification 27 contain? That is up to 30th June 2021. And this is again subject to the condition. Taranjit, please. I'm sorry, I was not able to load the file, but anyway. Now, condition for claiming exemption that material received free of cost for free distribution anywhere in India for COVID relief, state government shall appoint nodal authorities and state government for the purpose of the exemption, and nodal authorities so appointed shall authorize any entity, relief agency or statutory body for free distribution of such. So state authority, the nodal authority of the state will authorize, they will give the authorization. And with that authorization, you will get the clearance from the customs. And after getting the clearance from the customs and distributing, then again there is a compliance as per instruction number 9/2021 customs, that you have to comply with, you have to file the statement of the goods imported and distributed free of cost to the AC or DC as may be applicable and duly certified by the nodal agency of a state. So this is to be filed. And then only compliance, once the compliance is over, then this exemption will continue or you will not be liable to pay any duty. Ranjit, next please. Now, there is a procedure for this. As I mentioned to you that first you have to apply for the certificate to the nodal agencies. Nodal agencies have been appointed by the state governments for the each one. And then nodal agency will grant you the certificate. That certificate will be submitted to the AC and DC, and then post-import clearances will be then duly certified by the, as mentioned earlier, this is to be filed with the nodal agency within the period of 6 months, or which may be extended up to 9 months to get this relief. Next, Tarunji, please. Yeah, now there are few questions which comes to the mind, that the exemption available in import when importer buys the goods and distributed free of cost. Free of cost for the IGST is available only for free imports. When you import freely, then only. If you purchase it by payment, then this exemption at the moment is not available. Then certificate from a nodal agency to be taken in the state of import or state of distribution, because you can import in Haryana and then you can supply in Delhi. You can take any state agency, you can take the certificate and you can distribute also there anywhere. So you take from Haryana, you can distribute in Delhi. So that is allowed in this situation. It is not that you take the state agency Haryana certificate and then you cannot distribute in Delhi. That is not the case. Anywhere in India, you can distribute this. And the third one is that is certificate required for each consignment imported, or single certificate can be received for the multiple consignment. You can have the certificate for the single certificate for the multiple consignment, and against the single certificate, multiple consignment can be released against this. Tamanjit, the next please. Yeah. these are the chapter heading wise that I'll not go into much. We have already, this is chapter heading 29, 29 again, that material and all this, and 30 is the injection remdesivir, which everybody knows about in this world. And 38, 22 has been added by the amendment by notification number 29, 21. So these are the chapter headings under which the items imported, and BCD exemption is there up to 31st October 2021 imported under these headings. So these are the headings, chapter headings, the goods exempted under this. Next, Taranjit. Taranjit, next please. These are again the tariff headings, and one important where the BCD and health set exemption up to 31st July 2021 is there. And one item which we were talking about, that what Bimalji was also mentioning, that reduction of rate from 28%, they have reduced the rate of IGST to 12%. That is oxygen concentrator for personal use by notification number 30 by 2021. So these are the items, the list of items that goods exempted under notification 28, BCD and health set exemption, and the date, applicable date is 31st July 2021. And these items everybody knows today we are discussing, everyone. So there is the list can be checked. Next, Taranjit, please. Next. Yeah, next, please. Next. Yes, now some other measures, reliefs have been given by this, that for benefiting the importer and exporter who are actively engaged in providing COVID material, the government of India is committed to ensure seamless and clear, as I mentioned to you, very quick clearances are taking place within the whole custom department. In fact, despite the COVID situation, the whole custom department are working around the clock, and all the goods which we are getting cleared very quickly. So in the year 2020, when the COVID was, in last year when the COVID was there, that department has given the relief by circular number 17/2020, dated 3rd April 21. Those measures are still continuing. The measures to facilitate trade during the lockdown period, section 143AA of the Customs Act, these, whatever the relief were given, those are continuing today also. So this is very important to note that those relief which are given last year by notification by the circular number 3422/2020 is still continuing by circular number 9/2021. Next, Taranjit. Now, I just summarized the notification which has been issued. So I've just in 2 slides, I've summarized all. Notification number 27 for basic custom duty, notification number 28 for the custom duty and health, and then notification number 29. This was amended at notification number 27, 28, and then notification 30 that reduced the IGST on oxygen concentrator from the to 12%, and then the next is the ad hoc exemption order /4/2021 seeks to exempt IGST on import of this. So these are another next slide, please. So these are the exemption. I've just summarized what are the notification has been issued, and these are the circulars instructions which have been issued. One instruction has been issued on 8th March or 8th May, restoring the facility which I mentioned to you. That old facility which have been allowed has been restored, and then expediting the custom clearances, which has been again I mentioned to you 24th, 4th, that is instruction. These are all instructions which we have already discussed. The last one, which is a trade notice, has been issued, that 26/4/2021, the optimization of DGFT COVID-19 tax despos. Now, since a lot of imports are taking place, the DGFT is also working round the clock, and there is a help desk, that is DGFT COVID-19 help desk for international trade related issues. Next, Taranjit. Yeah, I just quickly, just quickly go through what were the relief were there in the circular number 17/2020, which was issued under section 143AA, the requirement of different types of custom bonds have been dispensed with, permitting the submission of undertaking in lieu of bonds for the clearance. Now you can submit the undertaking only. Relaxation will apply to the mentioned categories of importer and exporter. Condition to be fulfilled for availing benefit under circulars, that you have to fulfill certain conditions. And undertaking, furnishing in lieu of bond is duly replaced. You have to ultimately, first you are giving the undertaking, but then you have to replace with the bond before the stipulated period. So it's not that it's a complete waiver, but for the time being, relief has been given. So bond to be filed later on. Next, Taranjit, please. So these measures are continuing for the last one. And the very important, I would like to mention there, the continuing exemption. Earlier, certain exemptions have been given on custom duty on ventilator, personal protection equipment, COVID-19 testing kits, and inputs for these goods. Those exemptions are still continuing. What I mentioned to you, that quick clearances of procedures, that is there. And very important, that paperless work, that electronic communication of PDF gate pass, final out of charge bill of entry, it is automated generated bill of entry is there. It is a paperless. You need not to print any paper and all this, and quick flow of information. And very important, next one is this. Now, if you are sitting in Delhi, you want to clear the goods in Bombay. While sitting in Delhi, you can clear goods in Bombay. So it is everything. In fact, most 99% clearances now of activity of this totally, I can say 100% is digitized. So with this procedure, then automatic clearance of all India basis means that if you are sitting in Delhi, you can get your goods cleared from Bombay by sitting in Delhi itself. Then CBIC has appointed nodal officers for this kind of clearances. So they have appointed nodal officers each places. And as I mentioned to you, that DGFT is also operationalized the COVID-19 help desk. Next. This is already mentioned, the 24/7 custom clearance is there, and continuing exemption is there for from the custom duties, health cess on the medical bill, which is already allowed earlier. Next, please. This is recently that extension of FTP. Now, foreign trade policy was supposed to be renewed, but so revised foreign trade policy was supposed to come. Now again, this has been extended. Now I don't know whether it's a relief or it's a problem, but it has been extended up to 30 September 2021. This foreign trade policy, the old policy will continue. Now this another relief has been given to the late cut of MES application. If you are supposed to make an application for the period 1920, the last date was 31st March 2021. This has been extended to 30th September 2021. So late fee will not be applicable. And the last one is very important. One side, we are definitely facing a big problem of remdesivir injection or medicines. So government has prohibited the import of the export of this medicine with immediate effect. So they have put the restriction on export of these medicines which were needed in India. So they have prohibited the export of this medicine. So this is also in relation to COVID-19. Next, Taranjit. Now, this is very important, the electronic filing of non-preferential certificate of origin through the common digital platform for India exports. That is with effect from 15/4/2007, there is a online filing of non-preferential certificate of origin. Online filing of request for closure of advance authorization. If you have any advance authorization which you are not able to, then you can file online for closure of the advance authorization. And issuance of import authorization for restricted items. If you want restricted items to import it, then that is also quickly available. Issuance of online available with effect from 22nd March 2021. The extension of validity of RCMC, the certificate which were expired on 31st March 2021. Now this has been again extended to 30th September 2021. So these are the relief given by the DGFT concerned to this COVID-19. Next, Taranjit. Now, very important judgment which Delhi High Court has given. There is a restriction that any individual importing the goods, then IGST relief was not there. Even NGO was importing, only the state governments are importing, then only the IGST relief was there. See, now we see our judiciary is very, very delayed and process and all this. The notification 4/2021 came on 3rd May 2021. Writ petition was filed and the judgment came on 6th May 2021. The court has said in this case, relief has been given to the extent that for the time being, since the complete conclusion comes, then you will deposit the IGST amount not with the custom authority but with the court, and you will get the equipment released or material released in your favor without any IGST payment. So now this is the Delhi High Court which has given a decision. Yes, yesterday only I noticed this decision, and this is, I don't know whether it's a relief or not, but ultimately finally the High Court will decide whether the IGST will be payable by the individuals or NGOs other than the state government, as the state, exemption is available to the state already, not to individuals and NGOs. So this is the High Court decision which has come with regard to this import by the individuals, other NGOs, etc. Next, Taranjit. Now, what Vimalji were discussing, these are last two slides. These are the news item which is there. Sitaramanji has said that giving the relief on the IGST is not actually benefiting the country. It is to be analyzed very thoroughly. I agree with Vimalji that if the rates are higher, then definitely reliefs are there. If yes, the final product output rate is lower and output is inputs are higher, then definitely it's not beneficial. Next is also somebody has given the view that GST exemption of COVID drugs unsound. He has also calculated that if exemption is given or it is given, then the cost of the price of the COVID drugs will go up. It will not come down. But these are only the news item. Experts like us, we should analyze this and then only come to the conclusion. The last one. Yes, dear, I agree with Bimalji, and that's why I quoted this. Hope is important because it can make the present moment less difficult to bear. If we believe that the tomorrow will be better, we can bear a hardship today. With this hope, I conclude my session. Thank you, Vimalji, once again. Thank you, the PhD chamber, giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for closing the event on a very positive note. So moving ahead now, I'll request Mr. Karan Sachdev to make a presentation on the relevance of the Supreme Court judgment extending the limitation period with respect to filing of cases until further orders. Applicability in indirect taxes, GST. Mr. Karan Sachdev is a joint partner in the litigation team of Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan. He has over 10 years of experience and specializes in High Court and Supreme Court litigations pertaining to indirect taxes. So over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to all the participants and esteemed fellow panelists. Mr. N.K. Gupta and Mr. Navya Malhotra covered in great detail the steps taken by the legislature and the executive wings. Now we will shift the focus to the judiciary. Mr. Bimal Jain also very eloquently pointed out in his welcome address that the legislature has been reactive to the situation and not proactive. Let us also see how the judiciary has reacted to this pandemic. I'll share the presentation. Yeah. So before moving to the orders passed by the Supreme Court and the relief that is given with respect to limitation periods, I'll just spend a minute in highlighting the source of power under the Constitution, it is exercising these powers that the Supreme Court has passed the orders, which we will see shortly. Articles 141 and 142 of the Constitution of India are relevant in this regard. Article 141 states that the law declared by the Supreme Court is binding on all courts within the territory of India, while Article 142 gives the power to the Supreme Court to pass any such orders as is necessary for doing complete justice in any case before it. So, exercising these powers, the Supreme Court took cognizance of the pandemic, and so they took suo motu cognizance and passed orders extending limitation. Now, there are three main orders which are relevant here. The first one was passed by the Supreme Court on the 23rd of March 2020 during the initial stages of the pandemic. Taking note of the situation, the Supreme Court ordered that the period of limitation with respect to all kind of litigations, be it any kind of petition, suit, appeal, or application, stands extended from 15th of March 2020 till further orders. Now, earlier this year, on 8th of March 2021, noticing that the courts have started has resumed normal functioning, the Supreme Court ended this benefit and said that from 14th March 2021 onwards, the limitation will again start to count. However, taking into account the second wave, the Supreme Court once again revived its earlier order of March 2020, and it has now again held that the period of limitation prescribed under any general or special law being a limitation act, or the special law in the sense of, for instance, the CGST Act provides for the period of limitation for filing of appeals, etc. So for general as well as special laws, in respect of all judicial and quasi-judicial proceedings, shall stand extended till further orders. So this is the order passed by the Supreme Court. The implication of this, let us now understand with the help of a few illustrations. In essence, any limitation period which was alive as on 15th of March 2020, it continues to be alive even today. For example, if an order was passed on 15th of February 2020 and the appeal had to be filed within 3 months, then such limitation is covered by the Supreme Court order and it continues to be alive even today. Similarly, if an order was passed on 12th of January 2021, although 3 months has passed, in view of the Supreme Court order, the limitation continues to be alive. One exception to this, however, must be kept in mind, which is the third example in this table. If the order was passed sometime in December 2020, let us take 28th December 2020, and the statute prescribed a period of 2 months for filing the appeal. The 2 months would have expired sometime in February 2020. Let us take 20th February 2020. And it could have been condoned by the appellate authority for a period of up to 30 days, as is there in section 107 of the CGST Act, or the erstwhile Central Excise and Customs Acts as well, prescribed an outer limit under which the first appellate authority could have condoned. So if the condonable period fell after the 15th of March 2020, those situations may not be covered under the Supreme Court order of extending the general benefit. So that is something which must be kept in mind. Now the order, of course, applies to various indirect tax enactments, all the central as well as the state GST Acts. It also applies to the erstwhile Central Excise, Customs and Service Tax laws, as well as the state VAT laws. It's also important to note that it will also apply to the various amnesty schemes. So the period prescribed over there for filing of applications, or for filing of or for disputing any claim, etc. For all that also, the benefit of the Supreme Court order may be available. Within the Act itself, the order applies to all the limitation period prescribed for filing of all kinds of appeals, with respect to advance ruling as well as anti-profiteering proceedings. But it must be borne in mind that even the department can take the benefit of this order either for filing of the appeal or even for issuance of the show cause notice or the adjudication of the show cause notice. So that must be kept in mind, that the department can also seek to exclude this period for counting the limitation period for issuance of a show cause notice. The SSE can claim this benefit even for filing of refund applications, but it must be kept in mind that interest on refund is available after 60 days of filing of the refund application in terms of Section 56 of the CGST Act. Therefore, without looking into the extension of limitation, it will be in the interest of the SSE to file the refund claim as early as possible, so that even if it is adjudicated at a later point in time, the SSE can get the benefit of interest on delayed refund. Now, as was stated in the presentation earlier, it applies only to judicial and quasi-judicial proceedings. Therefore, the order does not extend any compliances that are required to be met under the GST Acts. So, as was dealt in great detail by Mr. Navya regarding the extension of various timelines, so those timelines are necessarily as prescribed by the notification and various executive orders. The Supreme Court order plays no role in extending those compliances, as it is applicable only for judicial and quasi-judicial proceedings. Another thing to be kept in mind is with respect to refund proceedings, while the entire refund process is also time bound. The officer is supposed to pass the order either sanctioning or rejecting refund under a time bound manner. Those timelines necessarily stands extended in terms of the Supreme Court order. However, there is no embargo on interest. So interest, the assessee will continue to accrue 60 days after filing of the refund application. Now, as Mr. Navya was pointing out, that the government has also extended the time limit for filing of appeals or any action with respect to the period falling into the specified during this second wave. The question then arises, is there an overlap between the Supreme Court order and the benefit extended by the legislature? Answer to that is yes, there is indeed an overlap, and the assessees can take the benefit of the Supreme Court order. In other words, the order also applies to timelines which are extended by the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Act of 2020. Another thing that comes to mind is what happens in a situation where the appeal period prescribed is for 3 months, but taking the benefit of the Supreme Court order, I file it after 6 months. Am I required to file an application requesting condonation of delay and then cite this order? The answer to that is no. There is no requirement of a separate condonation of delay application, as the appeal will be treated to have been filed within time. In other words, in terms of the Supreme Court order, if the limitation period itself stands extended, and hence there is no requirement of filing a separate condonation of delay application, one may state a para in the appeal itself and justify citing the Supreme Court order and justify that the appeal or the application is indeed within the period prescribed. Now, looking into this benefit which has been extended by the Supreme Court, exercising its power under Articles 141 and 142 of the Constitution of India, the question is, could the Supreme Court have given any further reliefs in this regard? Here, in my opinion, the judiciary has done all that it could have and should have to extend the periods of limitation. Any relief that is required beyond this, insofar as the limitation period is concerned, that really must come either from the legislature or the executive to grant any further relaxation or relief that may be required. So that's all from my side. I'll now hand it over to the moderator.
Thank you, Karan, for your presentation. Thanks to all three speakers for their lucid presentation on COVID-19 related relief measure. Maybe we can take some of the queries of the participants posted in a chat box, and that can be answered by each of the speakers. So maybe the first question I want to ask from Gupta ji. Gupta ji, the question is, somebody Tanmay Bhartak is asking, COVID-19 vaccine can be charged at 0% GST. In this case, ITC is available. This is the question, Gupta ji. What is your answer?
No, ITC will not be available if it is 0%.
Now, the next question, which is very important, pan-India, all the states are also demanding that GST should be made zero for the jab which we are talking about. And there's a fight going on between center and state. Every day when you switch on TV, the fight is going on between central and state government. What is your take? Whether the GST should be made zero on jab, which is an important need for whole population of India?
See, now, first of all, that let us understand this. If the states are asking exemption, I don't know on what basis they are asking exemption, because if a GST is collected 1 rupee, the 50 rupees, the 50 paisa goes to the state and 50 paisa goes to the center. Now, very right that this type of relief, definitely that what you are giving, in fact, the government, so far as the central government has released the free of cost, in fact, the free, that is right that in some cases where the people can pay, they are paying 250 rupees for this. But today that what the government has given so far, 16 crore doses are given, that has given free of cost to the state governments. Now, in future, you are right, absolutely right that yes, in this situation, why to collect the indirect taxes? But I have a different view on this, that the people who are able to pay, I'm not saying, because see, it's not that our all 100% population is not able to bear this cost. What I mean to say that people who are able to bear this cost, then it should be chargeable. And then whatever is collection is there, then it should be given to the poor people. The same amount what is collected on this account of tax should go to the poor people as a free. And I agree with you that there may be some certain criteria, but it's very difficult to put the criteria and all this. But people who cannot afford at all, those should be given free, and not free. There is no question of GST and all this. And GST, then center and state can share this, but this should go free, irrespective of GST.
Okay. Coming back to Karan, you talked about Supreme Court judgment and you talked about its applicability as judicial and quasi-judicial proceedings. Some question which is being posted in a chat box, and one question which is being asked, whether time limit of payment under section 73 subsection 5, 73 subsection 8, 74 subsection 5, 74 subsection 8 also stand extended by virtue of Supreme Court order on limitation. Simple question. There's some Hardeep Singh asking this query, whether we can apply the Supreme Court order pertaining to time limit for payment to be made under section 73 and 74.
Right, sir. So the proceedings under 73 and 74 are also quasi-judicial in nature. So the various time limits that are prescribed therein, it can be argued that even those would be extended by virtue of the Supreme Court order.
Okay, okay. So you're saying that, yes. Yeah. Now, moving further, Nabya, to you, that we have seen the COVID-19 related relief measure is being announced for the month of March and April.
Yes, sir.
March, for the month of March looks like fully reactive. It's not giving any proactive relief as was supposed to be. And you also sounded that certain representation can be submitted. Recently, in different high court, writ is being filed for getting the relief measure to be extended. Even affidavit is being submitted by revenue and they are not willing to extend the date also. So in a given situation, my simple question, When for the month of March, due date already gone by 20th April. We are issuing a notification on 1st of May effectively. How it is giving benefit to the trade industry and commerce, how to justify, how somebody can go and say to the government that you have given the relief. For the month of March, I don't see relief is being given. And one question which is being posted by someone, what happened if I paid the interest at the rate of 18%? Where is notification coming out later? Can I go for refund? That's what he's asking. So maybe two questions back to you. The first question to you, what is your take? To my mind, the March is no benefit. To my mind, March is no benefit. What is your take?
Sir, to my mind and my interpretation, giving a relaxation after 10 days passing the due date, it's beyond reactive analysis also, sir. It's like a postmortem. It's like a postmortem done. So the body is already gone. The time is already gone, and everything giving a relaxation. It is for the person who might be sounding for at least out of 100, they might be around 5 to 10% who will be keeping on hold, because they are now the compliant assessees are more than the non-compliant ones. And everybody knows if the government is not in a mood to extend, they will not extend it. So I believe taxpayers must have filed it on 20th and giving no benefit to the ones, and it is like a postmortem done to the assessee.
So you're agreeing that for the March, there is no relief per se. Okay,
No.
next question. What happens if somebody has paid interest at the rate of 18%, but by way of notification, he will get a relaxed interest rate of 9%. Can he go for refund of 9% excess paid?
See, the provisions as per law, Janser, it is always talking about the excess payment of taxes, not any other kind of refunds that you can go for that. But yes, I believe we can try for going in the other refund category for applying that refund. But Janser, yes, per se, that is the working capital gone out of the assessee's hand, and we have to surely fight for that, because Janser, the interest amounts sometimes are very, very less and meager amounts. People don't want to litigate as well because the cost benefit analysis doesn't allow that. So factually, yes, they should be eligible and they will be getting the entitlement benefit. But for that, they have to go for the litigation route only, sir.
Okay, so you're saying that it is permissible but subject to litigation.
Yes, sir.
This question to all the participants, along with Mr. N.K. Gupta ji. I'm coming back to you, Gupta ji. We will enjoy 10-15 minutes today. Don't worry about. I will not, sum up today's webinar quickly. Question to all the participants here also. All the participants must also join and give me the answer what you think. Gupta ji, issue was when the FOC import of COVID-19 medicine, other stuff, and then the ad hoc IGST exemption is being allowed. So free import, subject to condition, IGST exempted. Now, the same situation that there are a lot many NGO and trust working in India. And they are donating money and importing now, but they are paying money to the supplier outside India. Similar situation. It is ultimately FOC for the beneficiary. It is going to benefit the patient only. Such trust and NGO going to donate the oxygen concentrator or medicine or remdesivir injection to the hospital only for the benefit of patient only. Now, what is the justification you see when it is free import, ad hoc IGST exemption? But when it is meant that NGO is funding the money, they are collecting the money, and even PSD has taken initiative. They have collected a huge chunk of money for oxygen concentrator. And now importing. And after importing, we are going to install oxygen plant in the hospital only. Why the same benefit will not be available? What is your take? What is the hitch in the mind of government?
See, at the moment, if you allow the free imports and all this, always hitch is that there is a malpractices also. Okay. So government is aware of that. If we allow blankly, okay, so maybe that it is misused, because we have seen this, that a lot of import takes place under different heads. What of material is coming different at this moment, where the ports are working 24/7. It is not possible to examine each and every container or each and every consignment. So maybe that government is thinking that if we give the blanket permit, that it is misused, and at this moment we cannot afford this. But I agree with you that I've shown you the two judgments, as one judgment of Delhi High Court, and one I've given the Gujarat government is giving the relief, that they are refunding the IGST to the individuals as well as NGOs. So maybe that government is thinking some way out to this, but yes, it is taking time, and time is very short. In fact, what I perceive is that it is like an earthquake. This phase 2 of this COVID-19 was like an earthquake. This suddenly came within a month. You have seen that case from 10,000, it has gone to the 2 lakhs within 10 to 15 days. It was one kind of earthquake, which I think nobody can. In fact, the government agency should have checked this and should have anticipated this, and accordingly they should have taken this step. But I think they also failed in anticipating this. And I would just like to give that answer to Arabia. I was curious to give the answer to that, why this notification has come for the March. Now, Vimalji, you know that March collection, the April collection was the highest in the total 4 years. That was 1,41,000 crores. So government has already seen that I've already collected a lot of money. Okay, I'm going to give the relief. So who has not filed, I'll give the relief to them. So in fact, they already noticed that people, in fact, if you have seen that on 3rd of April, the government was indicating that we were going to have the highest collection in this month. So they in fact saw the figure on 19th or 20th that the collection is already 1,41,000 crores. So they've already achieved the target. So they just gave the relief to the people who could not file the returns and etc. So that may be the reason, that because government has huge data in their bank account.
Two quick observation, Gupta ji. The first quick observation, that subject to end use condition. Mr. Ranganathan is also adding the word, so long as the relief is done through nodal agency and subject to end use condition, it could have been managed. So to my mind, ad hoc IGST exemption should have also been granted to such NGO and trust who are importing.
No, but I just tell you one thing, that it is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. You will surprised to see still the state government is still not appointed to nodal agency in so many cases. So as nodal officer so far, it's a very unfortunate part. You are right.
See, I started, Gupta ji, we are working in a reactive mode rather than proactive mode. See, try to, you sounded, good and positive about government. Second point, quick observation, 1.41 lakh crore rupees collection, the bestest ever collection they have made, right? And still they are not willing and open to extend the benefit to the trade, industry and commerce. Look at the practical, see, government has to give the confidence in the mind of taxpayer. See, one of the demand which is coming out, if I'm a taxpayer and contributing to the tax collection for the country, I must be given some benefit. And this is the time not to do the mathematics. Please, this is not the time to do the mathematics. This is the time we have to really open up. As we know that lot of hue and cry going on, government is taking many initiatives. I'm not critics about government. They are trying, but only problem is that timing of doing the activity at the right time.
That is a drawback of this GST structure itself. It is not the government. Which government we are talking now? Central government or state government? There are 31 state governments. You have to call today also. If you read the note of Mr. Amit Mitra, it is already 2 quarters, 6 months. There was no GST council meeting. Unless there is a council meeting, or there, even virtual stage, there was no GST council. It is a GST council who has to decide. Now there are no meeting for last 6 months. So that is again a very unfortunate. This is the structure of the GST is also a problematic area.
All right. Next question, which is very important. I'm asking to Karan at the moment. Karan, the Supreme Court judgment has come and it has got its own way of applicability. And you sounded that the judgment is getting forced from Article 141 and 142 the Constitution of India. Now, they have given certain compliance related benefit. On that, there is another legal related, wherein due date would be 31st May 2021. If starting from 15th April to 30th May, you said no Supreme Court judgment will be overriding that particular limitation as well. Now, why such one thing? This question is very important. Why government is not, they were knowing that there is a Supreme Court judgment. They were knowing the Supreme Court judgment is applicable till further order. They were knowing that the Honorable Supreme Court made the observation that this limitation should be extended till July 15, 2021. In spite of the fact, why they are not extending that benefit, which was supposed to be at this point of time. So what is your take on the matter? Why we create confusion and litigation? Why we have to go back to the court and get the relief, and court has to go back and check from the revenue affidavit? Please tell me what is your take on the matter. Why this complication?
Very interesting question, sir. Really makes me think. So if you look at it, sir, we have a situation where the Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance in March 2020. Of course, at that point, there was very little time and things had to proceed very quickly. This time around, the question is the legislature could have stepped up as well and provided for extension of time limits for any kind of litigation, as has been done by the Supreme Court, till further orders. They have not even given an outer timeline. Once the situation normalizes, that is when the Supreme Court will come back and give another order that the limitation benefit now will stop to, the benefit extended will now stop. Whereas the legislature has not chosen that route. They have been they have extended timelines. The compliances timelines, of course, only the legislature has done. The judiciary hasn't touched it, but the legislature has also extended certain timelines with respect to litigations as well, but giving a smaller benefit rather than even before the second order of the Supreme Court was passed on 27th of April 2021. They could have stepped and given those extensions, which they chose not to do. Having said that, the Supreme Court, while passing this order, is keeping in mind all kind of litigation under all kind of enactments and not just restricting it to indirect tax litigations. So in that context, the Supreme Court is addressing a much wider problem, and which the judiciary may face, so that the courts are not burdened with delay applications, and even the litigants are also not anxious about delay. They give such an all-encompassing order, whereas the legislature was focused more on each act and under that looking to give the benefits to the limited extent.
Okay. One question which is very important, and I'm sure everyone of us would be looking for the answer. There's some CA Sudhasri, JK Tires Limited. And the question is very prominent. Maybe this question to all the participants: whether medicine distributed to employees free of cost, medical bills paid by company on their behalf, comes under CSR and ITC available for this COVID-19 period, or any block credit provision hit. In my personal opinion, see, whenever we are giving medicine free, or giving certain medical benefit to my employee concerned, first of all, we have to understand, am I giving free to them? To my mind, employee are the part and parcel of my business in the course of furtherance of business. So it is not coming under block credit. Please, it is not coming under block credit. I'm not gifting. It is only mean to see the survival of my business. Even for CSR, fortunately, Advanced Ruling Authority from UP has said credit is available. When these things, which is always meant in the course of furtherance of business, why government can't come forward and clarify the issue in general? That anything which you're doing for the employee concerned, an employee are part and parcel, resource of my business is dependent upon those employee concerned. I'm not giving any free. It is only to ensure survival of my business. What is your take? Participants, to my mind, looks like credit should be available. So maybe quick observation by Nabya, quick observation by Karan and Gupta ji. What is your take? Credit should be available or not?
Sir, in my view, the credit is available because it is to upkeep and maintain the operations of the business, like sanitizers, medicines, everything is to maintain the business and operationalize. Actually, this is the survival in the today's pandemic situation. We cannot deny that fact because if we do not give that, the business cannot run. So it is to upkeep and maintain the business. I believe it should be allowed, and I am in favor of the view taken by you, sir.
Yes, Gupta ji.
Yeah, I am also view that yes, where the in the offices and etc. medicine etc. is given. In fact, everybody has got a first aid kit. In fact, so many clinics are there, and the medical medicine etc. is given to the this particularly not only this but otherwise also. Then inputters credit should be available. I think you are rightly mentioned that this can be covered in the if the major action is taken for the COVID-19 facilities. Then it has been already, I think it's already been clarified that this can be done under the CSR activity.
Yes,
It has already notification has come. This can be done on the but and you are right that UP Advanced Authority has given the ruling that credit will be available in case of CSR activity also.
Gupta ji, only thing, there are certain activity which is now being announced as a CSR activity, but all the companies are not falling for the CSR activities. So maybe the company not falling under CSR activities, but it is mean for their business only. I'm saying that why only CSR? Employ a part and parcel of my business in the course of furtherance of business. Why only we are restricting only for the CSR activity which we are referring to?
Here the government has only one view, okay, which is the basis of this GST law, not in India, but all 160 countries. That is, this is a consumption-based tax. And what the government is thinking, what the department is thinking, this is the final consumption. And for the final consumption, inputters credit should not be allowed, like giving a food. Now, food is they have treated, in fact, you will find in very country where a judgment in the European countries also, where there is a final consumption. On the final consumption, inputters credit has not been allowed. So if you say this is a final consumption, that after that there is no consumption, then I can say that those judgments will apply, and this if then on final consumption, trade will not be allowed.
Gupta ji, only thing I will say as a debate, I will invite Karan to join in also. I will say only one thing. First, we have to understand the consumption in the context of business only. If I'm getting my factory constructed, right? Getting my hotel constructed, credit is not available. Can I do business without having factory in place, without having office in place? Now, just to make the law, and we have made the law in a way which is going negative with the mindset of business. We have to go back and check what is the meaning of good and simple tax, not debating. Karan, what is your say whether credit should be available?
Sir, I echo your view that indeed credit should be available. It should be treated in course and furtherance of business. We had litigations in the earlier legislations with respect to outdoor catering and the requirement under the Factories Act, whether it is mandatory or not. I think the government should look to incentivize corporate and make it easier for them to carry out these steps, and whichever way they could incentivize, that would be really be in the interest of all.
Maybe you have picked up the right word, incentivize, and that's what we all are looking for. And that was the objective of today's webinar: incentivize to home, trade, industry and commerce, hand-holding to home, trade, industry and commerce. We are looking for a lot many things from the government side, and we have lot many things to say and suggest to the government of India, central and state. And thanking all the participants that you have taken out your time and participated today. I'm sure you can write back your input, feedback, suggestion also. All three speakers has done a splendid job. They made very good presentation. I was the only person from sitting as a moderator and talking about, but it's a privilege that the PSD, Chamber of Commerce, Indirect Tax Committee, take a lot of initiative for the hand-holding for the trade, industry and commerce. I'm sure you must have got benefited with today's webinar and will carry on doing this hand-holding for each other. Let's carry on and be part of it. To conclude my webinar today, I'm thanking our president, Sri Sanjay Agrawal ji in absentia, thanking all three speakers, and thanking my team, Monica and Taranjit, for making this webinar a successful. Thanking each one of you for taking out your time joining today. But humble submission, one humble submission. Let's be united together. Pass on positivity. Pass on wellness messages. Do something a little bit, whatever you can do for the benefit of humankind. Please take it forward. अच्छा बोलना है, मीठा बोलना है, सबको साथ लेके चलना है. And let's pray together. भगवान हमें इस COVID-19 से बाहर निकालें. Thanking each one of you once again for being part of today's webinar. Let's carry on for the next webinar in coming month. Thank you very much. Thanks once again to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.